On an evening where, rather a day where every single NHL team was in action, the Avs and the Stars, the marquee matchup today, the late game out at Ball Arena ends 5-4 in the shootout as who other than Mikko Rantanen scores the shootout winner to give Dallas the extra point in the skills competition of what was an absolute treat of a hockey game to watch between Dallas and Colorado, two of the best teams in the league, if not the two best teams in the Western Conference this year. If we were to be so lucky, that should be the Western Conference final. Mark Springer, as we welcome you guys to Between the Pipes, but we won't be that lucky because, well, Gary Bettman likes to play with Play-Doh and have a Candyland 1-8 format. No, not 1-8. He's got to go through divisions because Gary Bettman's he's an idiot, man. What a hockey game.
It was a really, really fun game. What made it so fun really was that it was Colorado that dictated most of that game, and it was just chance after chance, and it was just great, clean play. I'd say the Avs won 95% of that game, yet they lose 5-4. That's hockey. Oh my gosh, dude. Yeah, on the deservo meter, if there, the Avs. I mean, that's the Stars don't even deserve a point in that game. And Dallas,
you're right, 80% to 20%. If you're actually talking about the moneypuck.com deserve to win meter, which
okay, that's the moneypuck.com deservo meter. On my eyeball deservo meter, 95.5. I mean, that was. They played great tonight. They played great. I mean, there were a couple flaws. We'll talk about them. Just a couple, in my opinion. Man, they played so well. And just dumb shit here, stupid thing there. Of course, Mikko Rantanen scores the game-winning shootout goal. Man, how about... Okay. Yeah, 95.5. Jake Ottinger was great, though. That's
stellar. Jake Ottinger was as good as he's been, man. I know, Avs fans, you hate Jake Ottinger right now, but if you are American-born, come February 5, 2026, you're going to love that Jake Ottinger is wearing the red, white, and blue because he is... That dude's going to win the Vezina, man. He is a hell of a goaltender. He comes up big when he needs to. The glove save in overtime on Marty Necas is absolutely
I thought I was over.
stellar.
I thought the game was over in that moment.
The glove save on Cale Makar is absolutely stellar. It's so annoying how good he is, dude. He's big. He moves well. He tracks pucks through screens. Jake Ottinger is worth every piece of his contract. It sucks that he plays for Dallas. The good news is you don't have to see him until March because that's the next time that Dallas and Colorado play is March. So the next time that you see Jake Ottinger, if you're an American-born fan, you get to root for Jake Ottinger.
Him, Hellebuck, Team USA. They got some goaltending, and them versus Canada, and hell, Sweden with Landeskog will be interesting as well. Team Finland with Arturi Lehkonen. Let's start with Arturi. Dude, the top line was so good tonight. And how about that goal to tie it at 3 to start the third period? Marty Necas, I know he scored the 2 goals in the opener, but that's the best Marty Necas game I've ever seen.
Yep.
McKinnon was great tonight. Lehkonen was very good. And those 3, I mean, it was personified. It was exemplified on that goal to start the third period. Necas, little control with the skates, boom to McKinnon. McKinnon, cross ice, down low, doorstep to Lehkonen. That's a pass. That's not a shot. He saw Arturi there. That was great. And then next thing you know, Stars score another stupid goal. But the top line was excellent.
Yeah, top line was a very bright spot today. I think the Avs played well. As you said, they dominated most of the play. I thought the power play was excellent. And they go down as 1 for 5 in the game, if I'm correct. They obviously score in the back half of that double minor. That counts as 2 separate power plays. I think you're on the power play for 10 minutes in the game. I thought 8 of the 10 minutes were very good and very dangerous. Grade A scoring chances all over the place. You get the goal when you really need it with Nathan MacKinnon. Now, yeah, there are a couple of warts on this game. And where Dallas is really difficult to beat is they're opportune. If you give Dallas a bounce, if you give them an inch, they pounce. And that's what you saw tonight on the breakaway goal from Wyatt Johnston. The Avs are buzzing. They have a couple of big-time scoring opportunities. They try and cycle high. Dallas knows that Colorado plays off of 3 high in the offensive zone, and they get most of their offensive pressure through shots from the top moving down. And what happens when Dallas can key in on that is you have your defensive pressure super high. And if you don't get pucks off like that, or if you don't cleanly handle pucks, you can get shots blocked. Taves tries to one-time one, hits off the shin pads, and it turns into a breakaway. You guys know me, though. You get a point, and I don't give a flying what happens for the rest of the game. Honestly, man, there's 79 games to go. I'm just glad that this game, this marquee game that we got, because we don't get to see the Dallas Stars until March, lived up to the billing.
Okay, from my perspective, and you can disagree with me, that's totally fine. I didn't love the power play in this game. I didn't. I'm going to point specific, and I know they score. They end up scoring on their final power play, which was a double minor. It was a 4-minute power play because Yoel Kiviranta got high sticked. He bled, and the Avs got 4 minutes. The first shift of the top unit was nothing. It was awful. Second unit.
The first was great.
I thought it was terrible.
They win. No. They win the draw on the first of the double minor. They get 2 grade A scoring opportunities, and then a minute into that power play is when they can't get back into the zone. But when they had immediate possession, they zipped pucks around. The first minute of the double minor was good.
We saw it completely differently. I did not like that first shift.
You don't. I see the comments right now. You don't think what they had 12 shots on the power play tonight, and they scored. They went 20%. 20% is a damn good power play in this league. They had 12 shots on goal on the power play.
I disagree. I don't know. I mean, maybe we need
to
go. I wish we could go back and look at it. I didn't like it.
I saw something different tonight, man. I thought they moved pucks. I thought they had grade A scoring opportunities. I disagree.
What I will say, and when they do score their power play goal, what was different to me was Natchez was in that middle bumper position, and Lehkonen was net front, and it's Natchez who pushes, and it's Brent Burns. You've talked, Raj, about how Brent Burns can get those shots through.
Yeah, he does.
And he was the one out there with the top unit. He kind of he made his way out there. Taves came on with the second unit. Burns gets one through, got his first points as an Av in his 1500th game. Real quick on Brent Burns. Upgrade over Ryan Lindgren. Brent Burns had a very good game tonight.
Yeah, he's a better defenseman.
He's bigger. He's nastier. He can still play. Is he prime Brent Burns? No. So he gets a shot through, kind of rebounds out to Natchez in that bumper area. Lehkonen is fighting net front. I said it last show, I don't love Lehkonen in that position because he's a little undersized, but you can see him. He's fighting his ass off, and he's, trying to be a body in front. Natchez pushes it out to McKinnon, who puts it in. But what we see there is the setup that I like, and it was kind of fluky how it happened, with Burns at the point. You have the D-man at the point, Natchez in the slot, Lehkonen down low. This straight line of 3 players with McKinnon on the left wing. What I noticed tonight on the power play was they were moving Natchez net front more, which is fine. But is Natchez suited for that role? Do you of the options that the Avs have?
No, but do you want to take the guy who's going to score the most goals in the team off your top power play unit? I don't think that's a smart idea.
But if you're going to play Natchez net front,
they're moving.
And that's what I want.
He doesn't sit net front. There's
so
much more movement on this power play than there was last year. He doesn't sit net front. He's not sitting there like he's
I'm telling you, watching the power plays tonight, he floated net front more than he had in the first 3 games. And I just don't love him as a puck tipper, as a screener in front of net as I do. And I know they're easing Landeskog in. Putting a Chushkin out there. I don't know, man. We can agree to disagree on that one. I didn't love it tonight.
I thought the power play looked the best it has through the first 3 games of the season tonight.
Okay.
I thought the movement was good. I didn't think they were stagnant. I didn't think they tried to pass the puck into the back of the net. Again, if they had 7 shots on 5 power play opportunities and went 1 for 5, I could see differently. But they went 1 for 5. They scored the goal when they needed to, and they had 12 shots. And by my count, they had 7 grade A scoring opportunities on 12 shots on 5 power plays. I'm cool with that. Like, I know they don't go 3 for 5 tonight. I know we want to see a power play go 60%. It's going to take a little bit for Dave Haxtell to get this thing going. I agree. I don't know if the personnel is perfect. If you really want to establish a net front presence, I agree. Get number 13 in front of the net in Valdentushkin, or more likely get Gabriel Landeskog out there. But I'm not taking Marty Necas off my top power play unit, seeing how he's shooting the puck right now. Like, you want to take that guy off of your biggest opportunity to score? I disagree. If you want to take Lecky off, be my guest. If you want to take Nelson off and put Gabe Landeskog in that position, I can do that. But I'm not taking Marty Necas off the top unit right now.
He to me, and look, Necas had a great game, but it's simply the hand of his shot being a right-handed shot. That's it. If he was a left-handed shot, then I'm putting him on that right wing every single day.
But then we run into the issue of the power play stagnant, because you're just sitting there waiting for one-time slap shot regatta.
Without that net front presence, they are too peripheral. Everything is too wide. They need more bodies in front for tips.
Edmonton makes it work with too many left-handed shots on their power play. So why do they make it work? They've got Zach Hyman in front of the net, man. Like, sure, if we want to nitpick about the personnel on the power play, you can nitpick about the guy playing net front. But I don't think we can nitpick about having Marty Necas out there, man. He's nails right now.
No, he's got a great
there was
shot.
One thing that he didn't do right tonight. The one thing he didn't do correctly was the zone entry in the third period on the power play, where he decided not to shoot the puck in the middle of the hash marks. Like, he was keyed in on Nathan MacKinnon for some reason, and he cut to the middle, and all the stars just moved out of the way, and he went, "Oh, I don't want to shoot the puck in the middle of the hash." That was the one thing he did that I didn't like.
He's got a great shot. I want him on that. Like, if it wasn't for Nathan MacKinnon, I'd want Necas on that left-hand side. But when you have, and I liked it when they traded for Necas, I kind of liked what they're doing, but now it's getting too clogged up. That left-hand side is getting too clogged up with both Necas and MacKinnon over there. There's not enough space for MacKinnon to operate. That's when they score their goal. Necas is middle of the ice, and there was plenty of space and room for MacKinnon on that left side.
Yeah.
I get what you're saying, and we're just disagreeing here, and that's totally fine. That's going to happen.
I'll have to look back on it, and I will go back and I will watch all 5 of these power plays, and maybe tomorrow morning when I do my watch through. Typically, I don't do it this early in the season, and typically I only do it with Broncos games, watching the full thing the next day. I will look through the 5 power plays and see if I'm wrong, or see if I'm trying to paint a picture that isn't there. But man, I saw things starting to click. It's going to take some time. Like, it's a new system under Haxtell. Like, they're ripping things up. Trust me. The amount of movement on this power play and the bodies that they're taking out and putting in and utilizing a second unit, there are lots of pieces that they're waiting for these things all to finally mesh. And I'm okay with them not meshing on October 11th.
Sure, and they're trying different things.
I mean,
like you said, it's game 3. Let's try different things out.
If they're only running at 20% in February, yeah, there's an issue. But I don't expect that to be the case. I expect them to be a 23% power play this year, which will likely spot them in the top 10.
All right, I'm going to talk about. I saw 2 flaws in this game tonight. You want to hear them?
Yeah.
You ready?
I guess. Let's do it.
Okay. First flaw, and it is what it is. So Sam Girard got hurt, and he's going to miss a couple weeks. He's week to week. Can't even remember the injury, lower body, upper body. Doesn't even really matter. Sam Girard's out a couple weeks. So in comes Ilya Solovyov. Am I saying that right, Raj?
I think there's Solovyov, something like that. Yeah.
Solovyov. Former Calgary Flame, I believe. And this guy was, in the preseason, people were like, hey, this guy, he's got something. People like to do that in the preseason. I remember last year, Logan O'Connor was like, hey, this Oliver Shillington's looking good. And we remember how Oliver Shillington, who was a former Flame, you got your Calvin DeHaans of the world. Look, when you go to your seventh defenseman sometimes, and it was his first game, I put, let's see, which goal was it? It was the Nathan Bastian goal that tied this thing at 2. Solovyov is out there with Brent Burns, and Brent Burns is working his ass off, checking in front of net. And you watch the replay, Ilya Solovyov is in absolute no man's land, completely lost in the slot. What are you doing? Why are you not deeper as a defenseman? He's not bodying up anybody. He's just there. That to me is why Nathan Bastian is able to get behind Brent Burns, and they're able to find him for the goal that beats Wedgwood. So it's a freaking, it's your 7th D man coming in because Gerard is hurt, but that hurt.
Yeah, I thought he was better as the game started. I thought his first couple of shifts were solid, cleared a couple of pucks out of dangerous areas in front of Scotty Wedgwood. He was better early. He was not better late. And you're going to go through some of those growing pains with a player that you're hoping to like hit the flyer on right now. Burns was tired at the end of that shift. I would have liked to have seen him try and get underneath underneath Bastion's stick there rather than kind of riding him like a backpack. I'm not going to nitpick there, man. Like Dallas made a good play. I agree. I think it's more so on Solovyov not being in the right position and not having two big bodies be able to clear out the crease there. It's leaving a little bit too much on Burns at the end of a shift there. But I thought he was fine at the beginning. I thought he showed well at the beginning. It petered off toward the end.
That's going to happen. Like, this is the NHL. This is, you're replacing Sam Girard. Now you're not playing his minutes, but the 6D matters. We've seen time and time again, 6D matters, and you can play well for a period, but it finds you. It finds you if you're not locked in for every shift that you're out there. So, okay. I didn't love that. Here's my other weak point of the game. Somebody in the chat brought up the second line. So the second line hasn't scored. No one on the second line has scored this season. Although, look, Val Nichushkin came out guns blazing.
It's 10 games now, dating back to the Dallas series.
And he had a really good look early. Ottinger made the save, and then Val had a head of steam down the right side. He was locked in. He wasn't even looking at the net. He was just focused on his shot and hit the bottom of the crossbar. Val looked great. I thought Gabe looked good again. I don't think he was as impactful as he was against the Mammoth, but I think you are seeing Landeskog fit. So this brings me to my flaw, and I'm nitpicking, okay? I'm nitpicking. Brock Nelson has not clicked yet with the Avs.
I thought he looked fast tonight, at least.
Okay.
I thought he looked fast. I wouldn't say he's not.
I mean, he's there. I'm noticing him. He's working. I see him working, but he hasn't had a moment. He hasn't had a moment.
I agree. He has not had a moment yet. And I am waiting for a big time goal. And obviously, big time goals on October 11th.
I'm not even talking about a goal. I'm talking really about even like a scoring, because I can point out Val, who hasn't scored yet, but had moments.
That line was still so good. It was one of their best lines, if not their best. It was their second best line tonight in terms of expected goals for, behind the top unit. The analytics, just like they did in the Dallas series, the analytics tell you that second line is doing all the things correctly.
They played well. I just, Brock Nelson, he's fighting for pucks, but I don't know if it's just the puck hasn't found him at the right time. but haven't seen anything dangerous from him so far. And that's on the first power play unit as well. Now, he's had a couple looks on that right wing. He's had a couple on so far through 3 games in that role on the first power play. And like I've said, I think he's of the left-handed shots that they have that can rip the one-timer the best. Nelson, he has the best shot.
Oh, on a one time, I still think
Yes.
Olofsson has it,
Well,
but Olofsson
and
isn't in a spot where
actually,
he's
you're
going
right.
to
It
be able
might
to
be
utilize
Olofsson.
that.
They tried him on power play 1 tonight.
They did. And again, that's the reason why I look at the power play and I go, at least they're trying things. And I see a lot of comments, whether it's on Twitter or here in the comments on YouTube and Twitch. I see you guys. One of the ones was like New Year, same shit with the power play. It's not. It's not New Year, same. Like Dave Haxtell's trying things. He has all of these different tools at his disposal, and they're throwing them in there. And what you do have to do, there's a lot of people out there who can't stand the Jared Bednar blender lines because it doesn't give a line a couple of games to feel each other out, to get a little bit of chemistry. The same thing has to happen with the power play, where if it doesn't work on one power play or the next power play, it doesn't mean that you should just immediately blow it up. You have to, because it's the beginning of the season and you're still a damn good enough team to win games even when the power play doesn't look stellar. They need to give these different pieces in different spots a little bit more runway than like, oh, well, those are 2 back-to-back power plays that are complete crap. I think they need to give them a little bit of time. I'd like to see Olofsson a little bit more in there. I agree. Nelson's got a great one-timer. I think Olofsson has he's got the it factor with the 1E.
Yeah, no, maybe you try him on that, and they did on 1 power play tonight. They did try him on the right wing, and maybe I'm sure they'll try it again. And you're right, they are. I am quote unquote complaining about the power play, but as you said, this is a different setup, a different system, a different scheme than we have seen from them. It is, and I suppose that is part of my frustrations. Is it's a little too peripheral for my liking. It's too exterior, but it is different. And if you were complaining about Ray Bennett and the system that they were running, they are trying something different right now. And again, it is game 3. It's been 3 games, so I give them that credit for trying something different, working Olofsson in, which is another variation of something different. So let's see what works. Let's see what they can come up with. And they're 2-0-1. And Dallas is one of the best teams in the league. So, okay, try it. Try it all out. This is the time of year where you try it all out.
It's so obvious that those 2 teams are cup favorites, man. It's so obvious in a year where you don't really have a front runner just because of the injuries that are happening in Sunrise with the Panthers, right? Like if Barkov is healthy and Kachuk is completely healthy, I go, oh, it's obviously Florida, but Barkov not playing this year. There are so many teams that are contenders. I think Dallas, Colorado are favorites at this point, and it's such a shame that we are likely going to see them face off in round 2.
And Edmonton.
Edmonton's certainly there, without a doubt.
Who
I think
lead
those 3
2-1
teams,
against the Canucks
Vegas
right
is
now.
right. Vegas
and
is
Vegas,
right there
but,
too.
Yeah,
The West is an absolute gauntlet this year, dude.
Yeah, no, even though the Avs don't get 2 points tonight, that was a great performance, and I told you, I had two nitpicky things I wanted to point out, and I didn't love the power play, so I suppose it's 3. Raj and I disagree on that one, which is totally fine. They looked great. That was a great performance from Colorado tonight, and it was on their ice. They should have dominated the possession and shots in that game, even against an equal team, and they did, because now you can kind of look at that matchup and say, okay, what would it look like on Dallas's ice? Well, it would probably flip a little bit. Dallas would get a little more control. They would have more chances. So
what does it look like with Mackenzie Blackwood in net?
There's that too. But look, Scott Wedgwood's been, I thought he was admirable tonight. I don't look at any of the 4 goals he allowed like, for example, the Wyatt Johnston breakaway, where Taves, it's kind of this weird in between to Taves, and he kind of whiffs on the shot. I thought Wedgwood gave a great effort to try to save that Wyatt Johnston breakaway. He just beat him.
Yeah, I don't find myself like begging for one of those goals back and looking at it as that's a Georgiev goal that just breaks your back. He made good saves. It was just very clear that like Jake Ottinger was far and away the best goaltender in the game, and I think the delta is a little
Sure.
bit closer with Mackenzie Blackwood. Let's head on out to Ball Arena where DMAC joins us live from what we hope is a better Wi-Fi connection.
Hey guys, of
and
course,
it's not.
technical stuff is technical stuff, so I'll just let you know what happened in the locker room and post game. Jared Bednar pleased with the effort tonight, but they're annoying. He said about the Stars, because they don't play again until March. I don't care if I ever see them again. So there's that. But overall, happy with the effort. Nathan McKinnon said about the power play, it was really good. I could hear the crowd booing. I guess they don't know what they're looking at, or words to that extent. But Nathan's Nathan, and a couple of power play goals were obviously good for the Avs. I think it's a frustrating night because the Stars are just annoying. I don't know how else to put it. They're a freaking annoying team. Everything about them is annoying. Mikko scoring and Nate not is annoying. Just everything about them is stupid and annoying. And that's kind of the vibe. Exciting night, though. I mean, really good offensive night. Exciting play. You just couldn't shake these guys. And then, overtimes are stupid. By the way, Olofsson, the stats on Olofsson, and I didn't know that going into tonight, and you guys maybe can look it up. But apparently he's really, really good at shootouts. And Benzie more or less said we suck at shootouts. Great players, but we suck at shootouts. Seriously, that's what he said. So there were a certain amount of analytics that went into it tonight. And, Bal obviously got one, and Ottinger played well too. So a frustrating night. I mean, if you say you start the season, you get 5 out of 6 points, okay. And now you're off to Buffalo for Monday, and you go from there. So I wish I had better things to report, because overall it was a really positive night. Great crowd, great energy, great jump, great everything. Annoying giving up goals late in the period too. That kind of stinks, but some resilience to fight back, and they just couldn't get it done in a shootout, and shootouts are stupid, and there's got to be some consequence for bringing the puck over the red line in a shootout, or I don't know, more shootouts, or I don't have an answer. You guys probably do. So that's it from Ball Arena, where the Avs lose in overtime to the Stars 5-4, who are freaking annoying, and I pretty much hate them.
There's DMAC live from Ball Arena. I agree with the assessment. Yeah, they're annoying. It is annoying how good Jake Ottinger is. It is annoying how they pounce on every opportunity that you give them. It is nice that you don't have to see them until March. But the one thing, I stopped listening to DMAC pretty much after he said the one thing that I needed to hear.
Nathan McKinnon agrees with you, Raj. And if Nathan McKinnon agrees with you,
I agree with all of you out there, or with him and his assessment of all of you out there that think the power play is crap. You don't know what you're watching. The power play was good tonight. It was so much better than it has been in the 7-game series against Dallas. It was so much better than it has been in the previous 2 games this year. They were doing the right things. You're not going to score on every power play. Cool it out there.
All right. Well, hey, Nathan McKinnon, if you want to come on between the pipes tonight,
he's got me to tell you that.
You and Raj can beat up on me. I will still hold my ground and tell Nathan McKinnon how to live his life, which is something that he probably doesn't need to hear. And he would probably tell me to go eat some vegetables. And that's probably the politest way he would handle that situation.
You look like you eat enough veggies, Spring. Don't you worry about that.
Hey, thanks, dude. Hey, he would probably treat me how he treated Mikko Rantanen after Mikko high-sticked. I can't even remember who Mikko high-sticked. Was it Kale? I think it was Kale. And Mikko's going to the box, and Nate had a few words for his old friend, Mikko Rantanen, and they did say on the broadcast that they thought that Mikko and Nate had dinner last night. I was going to tweet this out early in the game, but I didn't because it doesn't matter. It's crazy how, I mean, because Mikko Rantanen's an Avalanche legend, but he took the opening face off of the game. I believe it was Nate who beat him, and as Mikko takes that center ice, he gets booed. And the first time he touched the puck, he got booed, and slight smattering of boos throughout the game. But it's just crazy to me how money changes everything.
Yep.
It changes life. And now this Avs legend, who was the second best forward and elite forward who helped them win a cup, gets booed every time he does something in Denver because of money.
Yeah, he will be looked at in the same vein as Carmelo Anthony, man. He will be looked at in the same vein as a Nolan Arenado. They are the same. They're the same athlete. The only distinguishing factor between those three is that Mikko was a driving force on a team that actually won a championship. Right? Melo never won here. Obviously, Nolan Arenado never won here before he forced his way out to St. Louis. And
at least with Nolan, it's like he was kind of right. Like the franchise was heading in the wrong direction. This was money. You know, this was Mikko thinking he could get more, and then it turned out he couldn't. And
like you can look back at the it's funny. It's now a teammate of his. Is you look back at the Matt Duchene situation, and you can't blame Matt Duchene for wanting to get out of Colorado when he did. The Avs sucked back then, and he literally told everyone, he goes, "I just want to play playoff hockey." And what hurt Duchene was that the Avs were way closer to competing and being a wagon than he ever thought that they were ever going to be, right? And he bounces around, Ottawa and Columbus and then Nashville and finally finds his way to Dallas, where he's been at home for the past 3 seasons, man. You've even heard the Matt Duchene boos start to go by the wayside.
Yeah, they kind of Mikko kind of took it over when it comes, because they're on the same team.
Uh-huh.
And you can really only put your energy towards one guy in a way.
I don't think the Mikko Rantanen boos are going to go anywhere for the next 8 years. There's as many as 32 regular season games that you will see Mikko Rantanen play against the Avs over the course of the next 8 seasons.
Yeah, it's because he's a very good player, and
yeah, he's the Hall of Famer.
And it's like, dude, you look at what McDavid just did. And the fact that, I mean, and I want to talk about this too, because all right, Mikko faded in this game. Did you notice Mikko as this game went on? Like he was a screener on that face-off point goal that was tipped in by Jason Robertson. Mikko was one of the big bodies net front.
I noticed him on the power play, and that was about it.
Until the shootout goal, and early in the game when he got booed, and I barely noticed the dude. He really was a non-factor tonight.
Yeah, your play drivers for Dallas this evening were Wyatt Johnston, Thomas Harley, Rupe Hintz. Those were the guys who drove possession. Jason Robertson was, dude, Dallas got to pay that man. You better pay that player or he's going to walk and someone's going to take him and you're going to regret it. He's a hell of a hockey player.
Yeah, he had a good game. And it's, you got to see Jason Robertson and Miro Heiskanen tonight, who did not play. Who did not, but I thought Heiskanen was just okay. I didn't think he was much of a factor in this game. But they did not play in the playoffs. Now, like Mason Marchman's with the Kraken now. So, that's a piece they did lose. Couldn't afford to keep him. But they're better. You'll trade Robertson and Heiskanen for that. But it's interesting that, Heiskanen and Robertson play. Everyone's out there, and there's a lot of good players. Yet, I mean, the Avs dominated this game. So that was a full strength Stars team with a ton of stars, ton of talent on the Avs ice, and as it should be on your ice. You dominated, and man. So now to Marty Necas, who, because that's the comparison. Like they're hip and hip, Necas and Rantanen. That's what it is. And that I was hesitant through 2 games to give Necas close to Mikko money, but holy shit, you play like this, and I guess, man, you know what?
He's really good.
You know
And he
what?
looks really good next to Nathan McKinnon. And I know McKinnon has the Sidney Crosby turn Chris Kunitz into a borderline Hall of Famer type of powers to him. Anyone's going to look good next to Nate. Stars turn into superstars when they play alongside the greats. Dude, Nate, you got to pay that guy right now.
You might have to. And if it is close to 12 or 12, then just so be it. So be it. That's how the market went. And quite honestly, it actually, and it might appear that, look, I think Mikko in a vacuum is a better player than Nate, but I don't know. Maybe not. Maybe not. Maybe playing next to Nate would be the difference.
How many years did Mikko play in Colorado? Did Mikko play?
Was it like 8?
8? Right, because he was the 2015 draft pick? Question mark? 2014, something like that.
Oh, it was somewhere around 8 years.
I think Mikko played 8 seasons off the top of my head. Nathan McKinnon and Mikko Rantanen and Cale Makar are all Hall of Famers, right? I think we can definitively say that right now. All of those players are Hall of Fame hockey players. 8 seasons from now, if Marty Necas plays every single one of those next to Nathan McKinnon, is it out of the question that Nate and Cale could make Marty Necas a Hall of Famer? No.
Necas played so well tonight. And obviously his goal, what a cross-eyes pass from Nathan McKinnon. And McKinnon played great tonight. Lehkonen played very well. Nate it wasn't just feeding off McKinnon, the plays that Nate set up for him. Nate just was everywhere. He was fast. He was dangerous. So, yeah, I mean, if this is a situation where
8.5 seasons, Mikko.
8.5? If this is a situation where Nate just gets close to or touches Mikko's money, fine. I'm coming around. And you got Jack Drury out of it too, who they were using. I mean, in overtime, they put him out there just for a face-off because his face-off numbers are insane. And he's playing well on that third line. I mean, and speaking of the third line, how about that play by Victor Olofsson? How about the play by Victor Olofsson on the zone entry to beat, I think it was Thomas Harley, who's damn good big defenseman. And then your boy, Raj.
I love him.
You were all over this. I doubted it. I was a Charlie Coyle guy. Gavin Brindley has looked very good for his role on the fourth line, and he gets his first goal tonight.
I love him, man. He's so good. And when he's able to step into a middle six role in the next couple of seasons, you're going to see how close he is to a Logan Stankoven type of hockey player. He's not as thick as Stankoven is right now, but he skates a little bit better. He has just as much skill. He does all the little thing right. He goes to the net. And Olofsson now back-to-back. I'm glad you brought up his playmaking ability. Olofsson, back-to-back games on zone entries, creates goals as a primary passer of the puck. Like, we obviously had the gorgeous tic-tac-toe Ross Colton goal that starts off with a saucer pass from Olofsson coming off the right side on the zone entry. But tonight, he is the primary reason why Brindley's able to score his first career goal. Like, those are 2 offseason acquisitions that, I know it's early and the data set's very small, they've hit so far for Chris McFarland.
They absolutely have. Olofsson's been everything you could have wanted. I was concerned about losing Coyle. Olofsson's been great. Brindley's been great. So, and with Logan O'Connor coming back eventually, it's been better than I expected. So yeah, this team, they losing 7 to Dallas. I'm concerned just a little bit because Coyle leaves, but man, they look so good. They're deep. The offseason moves weren't brilliant. You kind of got to look back at, in terms of brilliant's not the right word. Flashy is a better word. But it was really about extending Brock Nelson, he's too good. Brock Nelson is too good, too savvy of a veteran, a 30-plus goal scorer for multiple years. He's still kind of figuring it out as he came over at the deadline. That was big. You get Landeskog back, and then it's Burns, it's Brindley, it's Olofsson. It was heady. These were heady, underrated, savvy moves. Rosters deep. They lose tonight, but they were by far and away the better team. And I come out of tonight's loss more optimistic than I have been about this team since, the playoffs started in last year and they lose to the Stars when I was very high on them. They look like a team that can absolutely win a cup. Absolutely.
Yeah, I come out of tonight's game very, very excited for this season. Very excited for the 108 points that this team's going to put up. There's going to be
couple
two
more
teams
things.
in the Central that'll put up 100 points. It's Dallas and Colorado.
Yep. A couple more things. Couple scrums tonight. Ross Colton gets into a fight tonight. Didn't last long. And then how about Gabe Landeskog standing up? I can't remember which Avs player he stood up for, but he gets tied up with Liam Bichel, who's a big son of a gun, 21 years old. Liam Bichel is going to be like Jamie Benn's hurt right now. Like his lung collapsed. You kind of forget about that in the preseason. His lung collapsed.
And a reminder for all of you out there, LTIR loopholes do not exist anymore. They closed that this offseason. So like the Barkov thing, or obviously Jamie Benn being injured with his collapsed lung. There's no more putting guys on injured reserve and then bringing them back for the playoffs. You have to be cap compliant during playoff time.
Excellent. That plays in the Avs' favor because the Avs don't do that. But Wyatt Johnston mentioned he's with the Kraken. So Liam Bichel at 21 years old, and he's gonna stay around. He's
Big
good,
tuna,
big physical
bitch.
Yep. That's one of those guys that you're gonna be like, I hate that guy. Landeskog gets tied up with him. I wonder if Bichel's never gone up against Gabe. He's 21. He has not played that was his first foray with our captain. And if Bichel wanted to go, Gabe was not going to back down from that thing. And I think Bichel would have been in for a surprise that older gentleman who is and Gabe's not a small dude, but that's how big Bichel is.
32.
Well, it feels like, I know he's only 32, and that's great news. But I love how Gabe just kind of tied up that young, big SOB and calmed him down.
I very much like Bichel as a player right now. He doesn't skate well enough for me. Yet there's a chance that he grows into a better skater. I like his size. I like his physicality. It's so clear and obvious that like Thomas Harley at a very similar size and reach is worlds ahead of him in terms of skating. And then you put him next to Miro Heiskanen, who's like one of the most gifted skaters in the league. And for me, it's something I can't look away from. I am enamored by the size. Don't get me wrong. Like Bichel is a big body that I'd like to have in Colorado. I just look at his skating and I go, I can foresee something happening in a playoff game where he gets himself in trouble and it costs you a series. The book's still out. I'm intrigued, but the book's still out.
And now, Raj, Buffalo Monday afternoon. The Sabres have gotten off to just an awful start this year.
Do you see how they started tonight's game?
I did not. I saw they lost in Boston.
They lost in Boston. The first period, they were down 1-0 after 20 minutes. That doesn't sound so bad, right? They were outshot 17-1.
Oh, no.
Yeah, not so great.
And Boston's just like okay nowadays. Oh,
Boston's not a playoff team, and Buffalo's got a lot of injuries. Owen Power, as I was told by one of my very close friends, a diehard Sabre fan, Owen Power has a tummy ache. And there's a bunch of other injuries on that team to big time players, especially Josh Norris, who's signed long term for Buffalo and is now out with an injury long term. Buffalo is, unfortunately, they're going to suck again this year for Sabres fans. Luckily for the Avs, you should absolutely boat race them Monday afternoon.
Yeah, they lose to the Rangers 4-0. They lose today 3-1 to Boston, so they've lost 7. They're getting outscored 7-1. To start this season. They're not physical. They got Bowen Byram, who's getting big minutes for him, but we know Bo, he's not that physical. the Avs play like they did tonight, and you probably are a little pissed getting on that plane because you didn't get 2 points,
And you
you
have to
go
go
make
to
a
Buffalo.
statement. You go make a statement Monday afternoon in Buffalo.
Although Buffalo at this time of year is typically nice. It's starting to turn and get really crappy, but Buffalo can still be pretty in the early ongoings of October.
Yeah, early October is a good time to be there.
Yeah, central and upstate and western New York at, late September, early October, it's pretty. That's cider season up there, man. I love me some cider season.
Well, go get some celebratory ciders after you win Monday afternoon.
All right, Spring. Well, that'll be a fun show for us to do. That you can catch that game on AM 950. We're obviously gonna be having our daytime shows on Altitude that day on 92.5, recapping the Broncos game, and that is just what 9 or so hours from right now, 7:30-ish kickoff coming from Tottenham Hotspur out there in London as the Broncos take on the winless New York Jets. You can hear all reaction to that Monday from 6 a.m. to 6 p.m. on Altitude 92.5. And then Connor McGahee on the call, 9:50 a.m. and worldwide on the Altitude Sports Radio app for the Avs and the Sabres on a Columbus or Indigenous Peoples Day on Monday. It's still a holiday, apparently.
But we don't get it off, and we wouldn't nonetheless because it's a Rally House Football Monday.
And you don't get it off, but brother, I am going to be plastered to my couch. I'm going to be celebrating like there ain't no tomorrow.
Hell yeah.
I am
I'm
milking
jealous.
this leave.
I'm jealous.
All right, brother. That's going to do it for us tonight. Avs lose 5-4, but hell of a hockey game. What a treat to watch. Dallas is annoying. I hate watching that hockey team, but they are so damn good. Jake Ottinger. I'm so happy that the next time I see Jake Ottinger play a game in front of my face that I'm like going out of my way to watch, because I'm not going to go out of my way to watch a Dallas Stars game. He's going to be wearing the red, white, and blue at the Olympics in Italy starting on February 5. So I'm happy that I can root for him then. And then when the Avs take him on in March, I can hate his annoying ass once more.
Yeah, I'm glad I don't have to see the Stars for a hot second. That team sucks.
Avs lose. See you guys Monday afternoon. That's Spring. I'm Raj. Later.